welcome back to my channel. It's me Addi, your buddy for learning. Friends, today we are going to study a new chapter of social science, the Unit 5, the Earth, Myth and Reality. Let's move on to this chapter. At the beginning, we have a small story. Let's hear it. An ancient town in the 2nd century BC. The people are celebrating the day of the marriage procession of their prince who got married to the beautiful princess of the neighboring country. People crowded on either side of the royal path to welcome the prince. Rather than seeing the princess, all of them were curiously viewing the prince's wedding gift, a huge golden statue with human head on a horse's body. But the joyful days didn't last long. The town was struck by a severe drought. To know the reason for the drought and to prescribe remedy, the king assembled all the great astrologers of the land. Their finding was that the drought was brought about by the prince's wedding gift, the golden statue. To remedy the situation, they recommended the golden statue to be thrown from the edge of the earth. So the people in the kingdom were celebrating the marriage procession of their prince, who was married with a beautiful princess of the neighboring country. And all of the people were crowded on both sides of the royal path to welcome the prince. And they were all curiously viewing the prince's wedding gift. The prince got a gift, and it was a huge golden statue with a human head on a horse's body. It was a statue with a human head on a horse body. And these joyful days of those wedding procession didn't last long, as this kingdom was caught by a severe drought. So the king assembled many great astrologers of that land to find how this drought came and how can we remedy the situation. The astrologers' finding was that this drought was brought because of the wedding gift, a huge golden statue. And to remedy the situation, they recommended that this huge golden statue must be thrown from the edge of the earth. So, do earth have an edge? Many years before, the people believed the shape of the earth to be flat. There were many myths based on the shape of the earth, and it was based on caste, religion and all. They all believed that earth to be flat. So let's look what all beliefs were there and that turned into reality. Shape of the earth beliefs to reality. The concept of a spherical earth was first put forward by the Greek philosopher Thales in the 7th century BCE. However, he believed that this sphere floated on water. A Greek philosopher named Thales in 7th century BCE first put forward the concept of a spherical earth. He first put forward a concept of the spherical earth. And he also believed that the earth was floating in the water. He believed that the earth was floating on the water. The Greek philosophers Pythagoras and Aristotle established that the earth is spherical in shape. Their period saw numerous oppositions against this view. Later, Copernicus strongly supported this concept. So these Pythagoras and Aristotle established that the earth was spherical in shape. They first established earth was spherical. And Thales just first put forward the concept of a spherical earth. But these Pythagoras and Aristotle established that earth was spherical. And on that period, there was many oppositions and rejections on this view that the earth was spherical. But later, Copernicus strongly supported this concept. Next is Aryabhata. Aryabhata, the Indian astronomer, strongly believed the shape of the earth to be spherical and that it spins on its own imaginary axis. So Aryabhata, an Indian astronomer, believed that earth was spherical in shape and it also spins on its own imaginary axis. He believed that the earth was spinning on its own imaginary axis. Years later, Magellan's voyage around the world proved that the earth is spherical. And many years later, Ferdinand Magellan, a voyager or an explorer, proved that Earth was spherical. He sailed around the world and proved Earth was spherical. Sir Isaac Newton proved that the Earth is not truly spherical in shape but slightly flattened at the poles and bulged in the middle. Sir Isaac Newton, who found out the gravity, proved that Earth was not truly a spherical shape. The Earth was not a spherical in shape, but it was flattened on the poles and bulged on the middle. He proved Earth was flattened on the poles and bulged on the equator. This shape is known as geoid. Geoid means Earth-shaped. And nowadays we can see the shape of the Earth or the geoid through the satellite images. Here is the picture of the correct geoid. Do you know how big the Earth is? So let's look. First of all, let me ask you a question. When you travel from your home to the school, how much distance would it take? Maybe some kilometers, 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers and all. And when you walk on your foot, how much time would it take? Maybe 30 minutes, 25 minutes and all. Do you know who is Jane Bellevue? Jane Bellevue, a Canadian explorer, trekked and sailed around the world. He took about 11 years to travel around the world. Now we can imagine how big the Earth is. The circumference of the sphere or the Earth that we are living is about 40,000 kilometers. Circumference means not traveling all the places around the Earth, but traveling a round circle through the Earth. Now we know the circumference of the Earth to be 40,000 kilometers. Do you know who first attempted to find out the size of the Earth? Let's look. Solely based on the angle of incidence of the sun's rays, Eratosthenes, the Greek philosopher, calculated the circumference of the Earth to be 250,000 stadia, the then commonly used unit for distance in Greece, which is surprisingly close to its real circumference. Remember that there was no modern means to measure the same during that period. So Eratosthenes, a Greek philosopher, based on the sun rays angle, he found out the size of the Earth or the circumference of the Earth to be 250,000 stadia. Stadia means a commonly used unit to measure the distance in Greece. And he found out the circumference of the Earth to be 250,000 stadia. And this circumference is very close to the real circumference. And we must remember that there was no kind of modern means or modern technology in that time to find the real circumference, the same circumference. Have you ever thought, where is your exact position on the Earth? Let's look. Where on Earth am I? We can tell our position on the Earth is in our continent Asia. Where in Asia? Yes, we can tell the country, India. Where in India? We can tell the state, Kerala. And we will move so on like that. All the places have an exact position on the Earth. Let's look how it is determined. Let's play and learn. Here we have a paper and there are some grids drawn on it. And there is a small dot, a small red dot marked here. Can you tell the exact position of this dot in this paper? It would be difficult, isn't it? How will we tell? No idea. Now look at this paper. In this paper, it is marked from 1 to 4 and A to D. Now how can we determine the place of this red dot? Yes, we can count and tell. Like 2C. The 2 is in horizontal line and C in the vertical line, isn't it? So we can count and tell and determine the place of this red dot on this paper. Now we determine the position of a dot in a flat paper. What if we determine the position of a thing or a region on a sphere? How will we tell? Look at this picture. On this sphere, a bus is sticked here. A bus sticker is sticked here. And how can we tell the position of this bus on this sphere? We will tell like at the top, at the bottom, in the middle, along the edge and all. But if we don't touch the bus at all and move this ball, can we tell the position of that bus in this sphere? No, as it changes the position. It would be difficult, very difficult to find out the position of a bus or a thing, something in a sphere. Like that, our earth is also a geoid shape, that is a little bit sphere shaped. So how will we determine a place or a thing in a ball? Like we did in the paper, let's draw some lines. Look at this picture. Here now we have marked some lines, vertical and horizontal lines on this ball. Now how can we determine the place of this bus? Yes, we can count. Let's count. Like 1, 2, 3, A, C, and like that. So we can count and tell the position of a thing in both sphere and the flat paper. We can count when we draw some lines. We can count and tell the position of a thing or a region. Like that, in our earth, it's an imaginary line drawn in globes and maps. We can see some of these lines, vertical and horizontal lines. Have you noticed it? Yes, maybe. And these lines are called longitudes and latitudes. Latitudes are horizontal lines and longitudes are vertical lines. Let's study about them in detail. Latitudes. Latitude is the angular distance to any point on the surface of the earth from the center of the earth. അതായത് എർത്തിന്റെ സർഫസിൽ നിന്നും സെന്ററിൽ നിന്ന് ഏതൊരു പോയിന്റിലേക്കുമുള്ള ആംഗുലർ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസിനെയാണ് ലാറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഒരേപോലെയുള്ള ആംഗുലർ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ചേർന്നാൽ നമുക്ക് ലാറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡിനൽ ലൈൻസ് ലഭിക്കും. Before we study more about latitudes, let's look what is axis. Axis. Insert a straight pole through the center of a ball and let it spin. This pole is the axis of the ball. Imagine there is a straight pole passing through the center of the earth. This imaginary line is the axis of the earth. The earth rotates on this tilted axis. When we pass or insert a pole or a small stick through a ball, and we can let this ball to spin. And this pole is known as the axis. Like this, in our earth, there is an imaginary line called axis. And this lets the earth to spin. The earth is spinning on this tilted axis. Now let's draw the lines of latitudes. First, let's take a ball that is not hollow and cut it into 2 halves. Then we can mark the angular distances as shown in the picture using a protractor. After we make the angular distance from 0 degree to 90 degree, we can stick some dots along the latitudinal lines. Now we can join both the halves and make the sphere, and we get the latitudinal lines. Like this, in globes, the latitudinal lines are marked based on the mathematical principles. In the latitudinal lines, the circles decrease when the position of their changes. From the center in the North Pole and the South Pole, the lines or the circles decreases. And in the middle, it is a big circle. And we can identify that when we stick the dots on that while we make the latitudinal lines. So the middle line is the longest line of all the latitudinal lines. And this line is called as the equator. The angular measurement of equator is 0 degree. The latitudinal lines that have 90 degree angular measurement is called North Poles and South Poles respectively. Now let's study some of the main latitudinal lines. 66.5 degree North Arctic Circle, 23.5 degree North Tropic of Cancer, 0 degree equator, 23.5 degree South Tropic of Capricorn, 66.5 degree South Antarctic Circle, and 90 degree South Pole. Now we have studied the main latitudinal lines. Now let's answer for some questions. The first question is line of latitude dividing the earth into two hemispheres. The answer is the equator. The second question is hemisphere to the north of the equator. Answer is northern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere is the hemisphere north to the equator. The third question is hemisphere to the south of the equator. Answer is the southern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere is the hemisphere south of the equator. The fourth question is the biggest circle of latitude. The biggest circle of latitude is the equator. The latitudes in the northern hemisphere is called as the north latitudes, and the latitudes to the southern hemisphere is called the south latitudes. Friends, that's all for today's class. We will study the remaining part in the next portion. And if you like the videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell icon near to the subscribe button to get notified when I post new videos. And if you have any suggestion, please comment it down below. It's me Adi, your buddy for learning. Bye-bye.